I want to commend Jim Harbaugh with his comments, because this easily could have been a simmering that turned into a firestorm with, the job offers, NFL, all that jazz again. And you know me, because I was pretty ticked off with Michigan with the way that the historic season he had last year, and then him doing that crap with the Minnesota Vikings, and just not squashing stuff. I was ticked off. But when it started coming up this time, and I think this was Sunday, Trevor Woods on Twitter put Jim Harbaugh just squashed the NFL noise. Said people who are pleased. I'm sorry. Said people who are pleased with the job they've done will be happy to learn. Will be back enthusiastically coaching the Wolverines in 2023. And that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do
No
is just
BS.
squash it, right? Don't. And he didn't let it simmer. He didn't let it keep going. It hurt his name. Hey, we'll be here next year. Nowhere, and that's all you need to do. So I do commend him because he's not done that in the past, and he's also keeping his word. He said that when he committed and didn't get the Minnesota Vikings job. He said that this is not going to be an annual thing. So I will give him credit for that.
Two things. One, it's funny. Like that job looks a lot better now. I remember last year this time. I'm like, wow, the Vikings job, is that really a great job? That job looks fantastic right now. Kevin O'Connell's done a pretty good job there. Very, very good job there. And number two, I'll say this. I think in years past, the way Jimmy would have answered that question is, right now we're handling the task at hand. Anything else will have its time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, something where you're just like,
he doesn't.
Wait, that wasn't a no. Like
no, like yeah, it's like this. Like okay, that wasn't a no, Jimmy, but okay. So no, I agree with you. That was about a straightforward answer.
That was great.
That he's willing to give. Now, and we'll take that as word and move forward. Now, if that's just a commitment for next year, maybe, then that is what it is. And look, no matter how good a coach's tenure or bad a coach's tenure is or whatever, nothing lasts forever. There's a good chance, especially if he continues to win the way he's won, that he will get that maybe too good to pass up NFL opportunity.
But see, the tough part with that is that essentially just doesn't happen. Think about the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, whoever you think they are.
Right.
Their coaches aren't being fired. You know what I mean? Like if
Typically,
you have one
no.
of those guys,
Right,
it's
right,
not
right.
happening.
Right. Typically, no. No, I think, it has to be one of those situations where kind of like, and people may view Russell Wilson as cooked, and he very well could be. I think it has to be one of those situations like the Broncos this year, where it's like a team that has a pretty good roster on paper, a veteran quarterback that is good at the very least, and they are severely underperforming. That they think a head coach is the missing link. But granted, like you said, Des, it's rare. I mean, look at the Raiders as well. Another veteran roster, veteran quarterback, but they have a disaster of a season. So those situations don't happen every year, but I think it'll be something like that intrigues him, like the Vikings last year. So, but I'm with you. That's a whole nother conversation. But do I think he's truly, scratched that itch of going back to NFL? Of course not. And I'll never say that he's done pursuing that. But as of now, look, we know that he'll be back for next year, and we'll take that at his word.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can do. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not gonna. You can't ask him to commit for 5 years down the road. But listen, he squashed it this year, so I'm gonna give him credit as one of his toughest critics. So I'll give him credit for that. He squashed it early, didn't let this simmer. No, nothing around any recruiting days. And think about this too. Also, I mean, that was Sunday that happened. The transfer portal opened on Monday. So literally, you know what I mean? Like, so that is just a potential opportunity for a guy who does get in the portal and say, whatever, Michigan does want to go after him. Well, if I'm Ohio State or if I'm Clemson, right, I could talk about the uncertainty. Like, look, man, this guy, look what he did last offseason. And he, and there's conversations now still on him going to the NFL. So I think him squashing that was terrific. So I'm
Oh,
definitely going to give
and
him.
much needed, and much needed because you need to, for once, especially following a successful season, you just need to go into an off season and to be relatively quiet. Just be a normal off season where it's not any mess really. It's continuity and it's all business.
Yep, and there's something to be said about that too.